Welcome back. As some of you can tell, I've got, may or may not be able to tell, I have a 10-minute max of what I can do with my TouchSmart's webcam. This is going to pretty much wrap it up here because I got cut off at the end there and I don't like getting cut off. So this is going to be very brief. Again, just in expressing what I think about Smallville, just going back to that real briefly, as brief as I can be, you know. There are, you know, since they've taken the time to introduce some of these other characters, you know, I'm going to try not to spoil anything for people who haven't seen the show, but I'm probably going to. You know, Jimmy Olsen is dead. So, I mean, but he, you know, Clark has actually seen his own future, and he's seen what he's going to become. And in that future, apparently Jimmy Olsen is still alive. So whether or not Aaron Ashmore actually comes back, you know, because he was killed by Doomsday. Well, he was actually killed by, I don't know if he was killed by Sam Witwer's character, or if he was actually killed by the monster itself. It was, you know, a pretty upsetting death, but you know, wasn't anything that really kind of shook my world, other than the fact that, you know, I think it definitely left an impression that, okay, well, this is very much diverting from, you know, that they made the decision to divert from the regular Superman universe and go in this alternate direction. You know, it's a cast that I've really enjoyed watching over the years. You know, I love John Schneider as you know, as Jonathan Kent. I love Annette O'Toole. I mean, even now, even with the graying hair, she still looks sexy as hell. I've been a big fan of her since you know, since I first saw her in the '80s and films like Cat People and Cross My Heart. And, you know, ironically, of course, she was in Superman 3 playing Lana Lang, so to play, you know, be playing her mother, that's not really that big of a deal, because, you know, Terrence Stamp, who is the voice of Jor-El, played Zod, and, of course, Christopher Reeve, very famously made some cameo appearances, sadly, you know, before his, you know, very tragic death. You know, but as far, you know, people like Tom Welling and Erica Durance and you know, Allison Mack and Justin Hartley, who has played actually two characters in the DC universe. One from obviously playing Oliver Queen / Green Arrow, but he also was in an aborted pilot of an Aquaman show where he played Arthur Curry, and he played Aquaman. And that was actually, I was treated to that. It was on one of the discs, it was on one of the Blu-rays of one of the recent DC Universe films. I think it might have been Crisis on Two Earths, but I'm not entirely sure there. But I did see it, and I thought it was kind of, you know, I thought it was kind of enjoyable, but I don't think it would have made a very good series. Because it's Aquaman, and he always kind of gets the shit end of the stick anyway. You know, people think he's just a big joke. But anyway, you know, so, you know, and Cassidy Freeman as, you know, Tess Mercer as Mercy, you know, and, you know, John Glover, who pretty much steals the show consistently as Lionel Luthor. He's just been awesome. You know, Michael McKean, who is, you know, plays Perry White from, you know, in very rare occasions. I'd like to see more of him. I just watched Spinal Tap last night, and, you know, again, it's always nice to see Michael McKean doing something. You know, again, it's a film, or it's a show that I think that's gotten really a bad rap for being just, you know, this kind of, you know, soap opera-y, you know, tween, you know, Superman show. You know, when he doesn't fly, he doesn't have the costume, and, you know, it's whatever, you know. the haters can hate all they want. I mean, really, it's, I don't care, because I love this show. I hope that people watching, what you think about the show. I'd like to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't seen the show, as a comic fan, I do recommend it. And as a fan of genre TV, I really do recommend it. I think it's definitely a really good show. I mean, since I've seen every episode, something must be good somewhere. And it's not like I was talking about with Spartacus, where it's like crack, where it's actually an intelligent show for the most part. Like I said, I mean, there's always going to be bad episodes of any show that goes on as long as this. And even in the beginning, there were some bad episodes. There's always going to be miscues. There's always going to be some misfires, and that's okay. As long as they get past it, get over it, and get back on track with the story that they're telling, that's where the real gold happens. James Marsters, I also forgot, as Brainiac. I loved that this season that they brought him back as Brainiac, but they brought him back as the future, as the Brainiac 5, basically from the Legion of Superheroes. So it was the good Brainiac. So that was neat. Again, it's good stuff. I like genre TV. I like superhero genre TV for the most part. The Cape, as you know, blows goats. I mean, it's just an awful, awful show. It's like a perfect example of how not to do a superhero show. And it's tanking pretty fast, so I don't think that's going to be around much longer, which is sad, because I do like, I like Keith David, and, I love Summer Glau. And I hope that someday she gets work on a show that doesn't get canceled within 1 or 2 seasons. Even though there's been no official announcement of the cancellation of the Cape yet, at least as far as I know. But I don't think it's doing very well. But anyway, so I'm going to sign off for now. We'll be back, I'm sure, next week with more comics, and if there are any new trailers or any new movies that I see that I feel that really need to vlog about, then you might see me before then. So until then, again, thanks to Comic Noob for all the shout-outs in your most recent vlog. Go check out his channel. If I knew how to put in a link like he did with mine, I would certainly do it. So, but I think you'll find him on my subscriber page. Go check him out. He's a lot, he's I think, pretty intelligent guy, and has a lot of interesting things to say. And is a lot more brief than I am. So, who knows? People might defect from me and go see him, or whatever. But anyway, thanks again for coming back to the Shadow Gallery. I'm your host, James Donnelly, and signing off. Ave atque vale.